Bellarmine putting their 8-game win streak to test, trying to keep the top spot in the A-Sun Conference. The ball is in the air. Bellarmine controls the tip. A starting 5 for Bellarmine, second in the conference in scoring. They lead the conference in field goal percentage, 7th overall in the nation.
A lot of scoring, a lot of shooting on the floor, and you're going to see just constant motion from this Knights group. They're going to try to keep this North Alabama defense guessing.
The extra pass, the motto for this Bellarmine offense. Claycomb, 3, off the mark, in North Alabama will get it out of bounds. You see C.J. Brim back in the starting lineup for North Alabama. Returned last weekend against Florida Gulf Coast after missing a handful of ball games. Like most teams across the nation, this is one of the few games that North Alabama has had the entirety of its roster available.
Yeah, and the starting group starting to find its rhythm. They hadn't played a whole lot of minutes together because of the ins and the outs, and so this North Alabama team continuing to put it together. But I know Coach Poolhole and staff is glad to have the whole group ready to go against this Knights ball club.
Youngblood on the pull-up, and welcome home, North Alabama. Matt, the Bellarmine Knights pushing the tempo. They turn it over, but your map to success for the road team.
You got to keep moving offensively. What we've seen the last couple of weeks with this North Alabama team is defensively, they tend to break down after 20, 25 seconds. So keep moving, stay in your identity, and then you got to cut off dribble penetration. When North Alabama can't get paint touches, they really struggle to score consistently. So for Bellarmine, you got to cut off that dribble penetration and not give up those paint touches.
And for North Alabama, how do the Lions snap a 3-game losing skid?
It's all about the defensive communication. This team's going to be moving, cutting, screening. You got to talk, and then you got to dictate the pace.
Mervyn James from outside with a hand in his face, in North Alabama off to a hot start.
And the Lions need Mervyn James. That showed up last weekend in foul trouble against the Eagles all weekend long. He's got to be on the floor, play smart, because his offensive explosiveness really changes the game for the Lions.
C.J. Fleming works on C.J. Brim. This Bellarmine team on an 8-game win streak, 6 wins of 10 points or more. And another turnover. What about this North Alabama defense to open?
Well, that's a great recovery there by Mervyn James. Claycomb, great shot fake. That's what he does. 50% of Claycomb's shots are from the 3. If he can't get that 3, he's going to shot fake and try to get to the rim. James recovered off biting on it and was able to force that turnover. Great job there on that North Alabama possession.
This is a North Alabama team that leads the A-Sun in points per game and rebounds per game. There's Emmanuel Littles with a miss. And here comes Pedro Bradshaw. Bradshaw putting together an impressive Player of the Year campaign in year 1.
Bradshaw is probably the most complete player on this Bellarmine roster. He's inside out, can shoot it, can put it on the floor, defends at a high level.
There he is on the pull-up. Penn follows, and right now Bellarmine can't buy a bucket.
A couple good looks on that possession for Bellarmine, just couldn't get him to go.
Brim from the corner. And for Bellarmine, they lead the conference in field goal percentage. We've talked about that, but North Alabama, the top defensive team in terms of field goal percentage and turnovers forced, and another miss underneath.
Tough break there for the Knights. Claycomb won't miss too many of those.
Mervyn James runs over C.J. Fleming. A no-doubt charge call right there.
C.J. Fleming is so smart. That's why he's the floor general for this team. You're going to see get to the spot, take the contact. Great job by Fleming. You know, in the old days, that actually would have been a block because his foot was still sliding, but that rule is gone. You now just have to beat to the spot, take the contact, and that's what C.J. Fleming did right there for the Knights.
Talking with Coach Davenport prior to the game, mentioning C.J. Fleming just embodies everything that it means to play basketball at Bellarmine as his 3 try hops in and out. The Knights 0 of 5 from the floor.
And Fleming is a dynamic three-point shooter, so you'll live with him taking that shot right there if you're Bellarmine. It might have been a little quick for them in their identity.
Jamari Blackman steps back. Blackman welcomes himself home. He missed 11 straight from downtown.
I know these Lions are happy to be home, and it's showing here in the early going, but Bellarmine likes to go under the screens, and so when you go under, you give a guy like Jamari Blackman enough space to knock down the 3 ball.
An 8-0 run for North Alabama to open up. The Knights have missed their first 5 from the field.
And you see this motion action. They like to get into these screens, backdoor cuts, and come back for the back screen.
What a nifty move from Penn. Finally drops it in. That breaks up the 0 for 5 start.
You know, Penn plays like a post player in a guard's body. He's real strong and physical. He's very comfortable in the paint right there, showing the footwork of a post player.
Mervyn James on a strong drive. Rejected by Thielen.
Great help side from Thielen there.
Bradshaw running. Penn on the dump off. And the Knights using defense to fuel the offense, something Coach Davenport says he wants his team to do.
And I think that's one of my favorite things about watching the Knights getting ready for this game is they don't always push in transition, but when they do, they're going to score, and they usually make the right play as they did right there.
North Alabama returning home, riding the 3-game losing streak, 7-2 at home this season, 24-10 in this building under Tony Poole. As Jamari Blackman's 3 rims out. Here's Bradshaw grabbing the rebound, running the floor. Penn trailing 3 ball.
That's what Bradshaw and Penn, when they get the rebound, they will push in transition.
Mervyn James steps back. Little's offensive rebound stripped. And here come the Knights once again.
That's another thing the Knights are really known for down low. They're coming in, swiping for the ball.
Bradshaw with an opening, rejected from behind by Mervyn James. Brim back the other way in the paint. And now we see North Alabama using defense to offense.
And we talked about dictating the pace. You feel how fast this game is right now. This is how North Alabama wants this game to be. They want it to be a track meet up and down the floor all night long.
Each team has 3 subs ready to roll. Here we go. Fleming, catch and release. Bradshaw offensive board, sticking with it. Strong finish underneath.
It's a really good job by Bradshaw to get that offensive rebound and then go right to work in the paint. Really good move there by that young man. North Alabama showed a little zone right there. If you go zone, you're going to have to box out if you're North Alabama. You can't give an offense like this a lot of second chance opportunities.
Brim inside, dumps off to Littles. Littles fighting through the purple paint.
Great precision pass from C.J. Brim there through the paint, and then the patience of Emmanuel Littles to not travel, get the defense up in the air, and finish at the rim.
Thielen steps into the jumper, swishes it in.
You won't see Thielen take a lot of shots. That's not really his role in this offense, but you can't leave him open from 15 feet. He's a really good mid-range inside guy.
What a start to this ball game. The Knights missed their first 5. North Alabama an 8-0 run to open. And we're back within a 4-point game as Brim misses on the pull-up.
Good look for C.J. Brim against the pack line defense. Just couldn't get it to go.
Bradshaw into the body of Youngblood. And we get a stoppage on the floor.
Teams that have really shown the expanse of how they play, how aggressive they are, how active they are on both ends of the floor. Their rebounding numbers, I think, are probably the more impressive numbers to me because it shows they're willing to do whatever it takes for their team to win games.
Substitutions for both teams as we get into the benches.
Just watch the ball movement for the Knights. It just stays popping.
DeVault from the corner. There's the first make from outside.
And that's what Sam DeVault does. He comes in the game to make catch-and-shoot threes. Came in averaging 35% from the three-point line and adds to that total here.
So the Knights missed their first 5 from the field. Watch North Alabama open up on an 8-0 run, and now they've pulled within 1.
That's what this Knights offense does. It's just so efficient.
And a whistle underneath. And look who it is. Sam DeVault draws the foul as Isaac Chapman was trying to get position down low.
Yeah, DeVault and Chapman just getting bodied up down there, and Chapman hooked. The official saw it. Now, if you're North Alabama, you got to respond right here. You started off well, but you've gone kind of into a little lull right here the last 4 minutes.
During this 8-game win streak, the Knights have won these games by an average of 12.5 points per game. They've done it on the road. They've done it at home. As Penn turns it over, working on the freshman, D'Italian Brown. At all levels of NCAA competition with multiple basketball and football national championships. The Bellarmine Knights close their Division II run out, making the NCAA tournament 12 straight times. Youngblood feeling it from outside.
And that's a guy the Lions need to stay confident offensively. He just brings another layer, does Peyton Youngblood, when he can get going offensively for the Lions. You talk about the tradition of the two schools. I mean, just great basketball. So many great coaches and players come through these programs playing at a high level. It's been fun now. What great additions to the ASUN to add these two rich tradition programs to the league.
Bradshaw can't feed it to Betts, turns it over. And 2 weeks ago, it was pretty neat. North Alabama and Bellarmine were tied for first in the conference standings along with Liberty, the three newest members of the conference. It's great to see the ASUN expanding like that.
Yeah, bringing in quality teams. And then you talk about these two schools coming from D2 to D1. What they're showing is they're not a transitional school. They're championship schools, and they're ready to compete right now.
So North Alabama, early 4-point lead. Bradshaw in the passing lane. He'll finish it on his own.
And that's just scouting report defense right there by Bradshaw and the Knights. You're not going to see the Knights get out in the passing lane defensively too often. They want to pack it in, play around the 16-foot line. But right there, just read the offense perfectly, an easy 2 points.
North Alabama, the extra pass. Italian Brown, the freshman from downtown.
And that's how you beat the pack line. You got to get it moving either by dribble penetration or around the perimeter. Get those guys sunk in deep to where you either got a double gap to drive or a wide open shot. And right there, it was a wide open shot for Italian Brown.
The Knights are 4-0 on the road in ASUN play. Sweeps over Florida Gulf Coast and Kennesaw State. Fleming pulls up. C.J. Fleming stepping in.
That was good defense, but better offense by C.J. Fleming. He's such a dynamic scorer, and that's somebody the Knights really need to get going to try to get this road victory.
Halfway through the first half, it's a 3-point ball game. Lot on the line in this contest. Youngblood, again, this time short.
A little bit of a heat check there for Peyton Youngblood. He can make that shot, but maybe reverse it, let it come back to you.
Duval makes it a 1-point ball game, and the Knights are heating up right now.
The Knights have found the rhythm here in Flowers Hall. They're sharing the basketball. They've gotten out in transition, got a couple easy ones, and when you can get some easy ones, that's what allows you to find that rhythm.
North Alabama's led since the start of this game. 4 bench players for North Alabama, 3 for Bellarmine. Brown, strong take. Bradshaw trying to clean up underneath. There's a foul call. C.J. Fleming called for the foul.
You're going to see Fleming right there as Isaac Chapman for the Lions tried to jump up, push with that off arm, and that's going to be a loose ball foul on C.J. Fleming.
So many players for each team already playing in this game. I believe North Alabama's played 9, Bellarmine 9 as well.
Yeah, these two teams sub frequently. They like to stay fresh.
Excuse me, Bellarmine 8, North Alabama 9. Anderson with 8. Anderson stripped. Stays with it. Misses. Littles with another offensive board. The top rebounder in the ASUN.
That's what Littles does. He just gets extra possessions for the Lions.
Brim will attack the zone now. Anderson again. Nifty move in and out. A chance for the Knights to take their first lead. Bradshaw looking for it, draws the foul. And Pedro Bradshaw to the line to try to give the Knights the lead.
Bradshaw pushing in transition, almost loses it, but you see James Anderson never gets vertical, and that's the foul call there against Bradshaw and sends him to the free throw line with a chance to take the lead for the Knights.
Pedro Bradshaw, the only player in the ASUN to rank in the top 10 in points, rebounds, and assists. His first year, a transfer from Eastern Kentucky and Belmont. His second season. But having quite an impressive run his first go through the ASUN, he gives the Knights their first lead of the game.
When Bradshaw was signed to Belmont, there was thoughts amongst the OVC that he was one of the best freshmen coming into that league. And so when you talk about Bellarmine adding a player that caliber, it's such a great piece to have.
Blackman short on the 3. Another rebound offensively to North Alabama. Alexa Matic launches.
That's what you got to do if you're Alexa Matic. Come in the game ready to catch and shoot bury the shot. That's the 5th made three for the Lions in this ball game.
And Matic, the 10th Lion to play in this game so far. Claycomb can't answer. Penn knocks it out of bounds. And it's a tight contest.
The confidence for Bellarmine.
North Alabama, a founding member of the Gulf South Conference in 1970. The Knights, founding members of the Great Lakes Valley Conference in 1978. Two strong mainstays in Division II, and this is the first time they've ever met on the basketball court.
It's crazy looking at that, researching for the game, that these two teams had never played before.
Mervyn James turns it over. Betts, transition. And Freem can't finish. Brim, breakaway opportunity. Maximum effort for North Alabama.
And a great job by C.J. Brim to get through underneath of Claycomb, who looked like he was about to send that shot off the backboard.
Penn on the block, so patient. Jump hook won't get the roll.
And you saw it right there. Penn is comfortable playing in the post. That was a good hook shot from the guard. Just couldn't get the friendly roll.
Back out to a 2-possession lead for North Alabama. Littles inside. Able to finish. Working against Justin Betts.
That's what Littles has got to do. Bellarmine wants to double immediately in the post, so when you catch it, you either got to move it or you got to go. And Littles right there chose to go right to the rim and got an easy 2-point basket.
Bradshaw again fouled hard on the drive. A loud tumble. He quickly gets up.
You're going to see Mervyn James send him back. Doesn't quite get vertical. You see the contact there on the shot. And the big thing there for the Lions is that's now 2 on Mervyn James, who spent much of last weekend on the bench in foul trouble. And he's going to take a quick exit here.
So Mervyn James, North Alabama's top scorer, picks up his 2nd personal. And Bradshaw into double figures for the 8th consecutive ball game. Makes it a 4-point contest. Matic fouled on his drive in.
Matic has brought some great energy to this game since checking in. The shooter going to get Claycomb on his heels and drive right by him, and you see the 2 hands on the hip. That's an easy foul call. Matic has also been good on the defensive end, getting some extended minutes here for Coach Pujol and the Lions.
See Coach Davenport, his 16th season. Matic off the inbound. A high miss, and Littles soaring over the backs of 2 Knights, it would appear.
Yeah, it's going to be a good call on the officials. There was a box out. You don't mind Emmanuel Littles if you're Coach Pujol going for that. But it's going to be over the back and send it the other way. For the Lions, though, it's going to continue to be on the defensive end. Right now, the Knights have found their rhythm. Their shooting percentage back up over 40%. But the Lions have been really good defensively to this point.
Littles called for the foul in the fight for the rebound. And that North Alabama now in a 2-3 zone.
Yeah, they like their chances going zone here because of their length and athleticism, but you got to know where the cutters are.
Claycomb misses, and Penn battling with Matic whistled for the foul.
Yeah, they're going to get Bradshaw. They're actually pulling Matic away from the board. That's just his first foul for the Knights, but that was a good response there for North Alabama. They got burned on a cutter. Bellarmine against the zone. They like to send Penn kind of middle of the zone there in the high post and let him pass out of it because he's so smart with the ball. Claycomb just couldn't get the 3 to go.
Four-point advantage for the home team. Youngblood. Brim with 7 to shoot. Matic a hustle rebound.
All energy from Alexa Matic, getting that extra possession for the Lions. If you're the Lions, you really need to take advantage right here.
4th offensive rebound for North Alabama, the top rebounding team in the A-Sun. Brim hops back, working on Fleming, drills it.
Good step back move there from C.J. Brim, and that's a guy the Lions need on the floor. He's the glue guy for this team.
Back out to 6, close to 5 remaining in this opening half.
And back in the zone for North Alabama, so you got to communicate. If you're Bellarmine, watch them cut through that high post trying to draw the gaps.
Fleming navigating. Penn, extra pass to Betts. Bradshaw slashing through and one.
And that's where Bellarmine is so lethal because they just never stop cutting. We talked about it pregame. You got to keep moving offensively. North Alabama goes on. The unselfishness of this team. What a great pass there from Betts to get it to Bradshaw, and the strength to finish, and the young man out to 12 points before the free throw.
The reigning A-Sun Player of the Week coming off back-to-back double-doubles against Jacksonville. Already on double-double watch in this one. Needs 3 more rebounds. And he pulls the Knights back within a single possession.
You could just see Bradshaw's confidence just explode in the first game against Jacksonville this time last week. I mean, the young man, he was just feeling it off the bounce, jump shot. He had everything going, and he hasn't slowed down.
Youngblood has 5 points for North Alabama. Matic. Wave off the shot. Foul call against Pedro Bradshaw. No correction. Dylan Penn picks up another foul.
For the lines, you can be patient here. Get yourself a good shot.
Brim stripped by Penn. Penn all the way, a chance to tie it at the line.
Penn, excellent job on the defensive end, stripping it away from C.J. Brim, then racing it down the floor. You're going to see here, help on the dribble, don't pick up the foul, and then race it. Don't let North Alabama get back. The step through Euro, off the glass, and one for Penn and the Knights.
Penn squares us away at 27. Again, the Knights 0 of 5 to open as North Alabama raced out to an 8-0 run. And here we go, tied up at 27. Matic pulls up at the free throw line. And the Knights can try to get the lead once again. Bradshaw runs over Matic, and Matic draws the charge this time. 27.
And this program's made a statement Bellarmine has in year one, competing for a championship right away. But North Alabama's shown across the board how ready they were for this Division I move. It's a credit to the administration, coaches, players.
D'Italian Brown again from the corner.
Coach Davenport was not happy with that defensive effort there from the Knights. That's twice now D'Italian Brown has checked in and knocked down a 3 because Bellarmine just didn't close out quick enough.
What a matchup this has been. And don't forget, we'll do this again Saturday as well.
And the interesting thing about this is these two teams look ready for each other on a quick turnaround.
D'Italian Brown draws the charge, and watch out. Dylan Penn just picked his second personal.
Great job by Brown. Beat the guy to the spot, take it in the chest. We've said that all night long. These officials calling it by the book. Good job there. And for Bellarmine, that's Penn and Bradshaw with 2 fouls. Coach Davenport's going to trust Dylan Penn to stay on the floor with his 2 fouls.
The Friday-Saturday matchups, North Alabama 3-2 on Fridays. Bellarmine 4-1 on Fridays.
North Alabama likes to go this pistol look offensively where it's kind of a 2-man game, deep ball screen, and then pass out of it and see what you get.
Brown's hit a couple of threes. The drive in, the floater, well off the mark. Freeman Littles battling underneath. And Littles, the A-Sun's top rebounder, picks up his second personal.
You're going to see here the 2 guys tangled up already. And then from there, once Freem gets his hands on it, Littles has got to do a better job letting go. And it's going to send Freem to the free throw line for the 1-and-1. Knights are in the bonus here to finish the half.
Littles to the bench. He has a double-double in 3 of his last 4 games played. The A-Sun's top rebounder for each of the last 2 seasons. Becomes the 3rd player in this game to pick up 2 fouls.
And Littles has 6 boards, so that's a big player to the bench for the Lions here. So who can step up for North Alabama and continue to clean up the glass? Because right now the Lions are +3 on the boards.
It's interesting, North Alabama first in the league in rebounding. Bellarmine 9th by numbers, but they do not get out-rebounded very often.
No, they keep it in the mix, and a lot of that, too, they don't miss a lot of shots, so there's not as many rebounds.
Brim misses inside, and again, Bellarmine with an opportunity to go back up top. Betts, the Knight of Honor inside. Freeman side. Wheelan for 3. Rebound tipped out to Claycomb, and that'll put the Knights back on top.
And what a heads-up play there by Betts. It's not going to show up in the stat sheet, anything for him, but he tips it out to Claycomb, and Claycomb was able to finish and give the Knights another lead here in this fun first half we've had.
Chapman has to pass out of the double. Youngblood, open look from downtown. Short. Chapman could not walk the tightrope. 1:44 left in the half. Knights by 1. Big opportunity here for Bellarmine. You fell behind early. You got a chance to maybe take the lead into the break.
And this group's just so steady, right? I mean, they're shooting 45% after such a slow start. Only 1 for 8 from the three-point line are the Bellarmine Knights, but here they are with the lead and a chance to extend it heading towards the half with some momentum. And this game pace has slowed to a halt. Early, the first 7-8 minutes, up and down was a track meet. Now Bellarmine's all in control of the pace of this game.
Shot clock down to 5. Freeman side, pinned on the glass by Chapman. But Alec Freem to the line for 2 more.
Tell of two emotions here for the two teams. One celebrating that call, one very frustrated. Could have gone either way. Bang, bang play there on the baseline.
The Knights perfect from the free throw line. 9 of 10 now.
If you're the Lions, you just need to take a deep breath right here. Get yourself a good shot. You hadn't really had a good shot in the last couple minutes.
Blackman steps back. Blackman in and out. 60 seconds left, and look at this. The Knights can take a 2-possession lead. Betts behind the back. Fleming can't hit over Chapman. And another chance for North Alabama to try to square the game away.
Fleming needs to shoot that when he catches it. He was wide open and a great shooter. Take the first one.
Blackman, elbow into the chest. That's a charge.
And then all of a sudden, they've got the driving lane they want for their shot. And that's just what the Bellarmine Knights do.
Pedro Bradshaw returns with his 2 fouls. 13.7 rebounds. And the Knights look to treat this almost like the final shot.
Yeah, they will. They're going to work this clock down here till about 15, 12 seconds. Then they're going to get into their offense and try to get their look.
Betts with 8. Fleming, deep 3. Fleming hits it. North Alabama, one last chance. Breland, that's another charge.
And the Lions are going to have to make the adjustment, but what a shot by C.J. Fleming. Hasn't had his rhythm, but right there deep against the zone, late in the shot clock, buries it, and then race down the floor and draw the charge for your team. C.J. Fleming bringing a little energy here for the Bellarmine Knights, sending them to the half.
That's 4 points the Knights have erased off the board. Fleming, a heave from Betts. And that brings this first half to a close. The Bellarmine Knights, winners of 8 in a row, lead at the break by 5.
Stretch on those Saturday games.
Matt, let's talk second half adjustments first for North Alabama. The Lions get possession first. Down 5. How do you rally to snap this 3-game losing skid?
You got to pick that pace back up like it was early in the game. Offensively, defensively, pressure Bellarmine, and then get out going. And then you've really got to communicate on the defensive end. The cutters down the stretch really started to make a difference.
Littles tries to feed Mervyn James. Littles and James, two of the top rebounders in the ASUN, each finished the first half with 2 fouls.
That's going to be something to watch. Which one of those guys picks up 3 first, because that could be a major difference in the game.
North Alabama led by 8 to open up the ball game. An 8-0 run. Now they trail by 5. Mervyn James dials it up, can't finish the rebound. Still loose. Finally, C.J. Fleming gets it, but a loose ball foul against the Knights. So North Alabama will get another chance. Ethan Claycomb, the culprit.
Yeah, you're going to see here off the loose ball, the ball's kind of bouncing around, and you see that push right there by Claycomb in the chest of Mervyn James, and that's what leads to Claycomb's second foul and another opportunity for the Lions with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Half of the Lions' field goals have been 3s in this contest so far. Blackman the step back. Jamari Blackman can't get the roll. Ball pinballs around. And the Bellarmine Knights get it back. Matt, second half adjustments for the Knights. You shook off the slow start. You lead by 5. How do you close this contest?
You just got to keep moving offensively. That was the difference down the stretch. Those cutters, the diving action you're seeing just would lull the North Alabama defense to sleep. And so far, the reason why half of North Alabama shots are from 3 is because Bellarmine's not giving up easy looks in the paint for North Alabama, where they like to live. Only 8 points in the paint right now for the Lions.
The Knights have shot over 50% in 8 of their 16 games played as that 3 hops in and out. 46 from the floor in the first half. Brim running. Mervyn James blocked from behind. Nick Thielen coming in.
Great hustle by Thielen to get back, but even better job by Claycomb here, knowing where he's at, not picking up the block foul, and giving a chance for Thielen to get back and send that rejection out of bounds.
Blackman leaves off to Littles.
The Lions love that zipper action is what it's called, off the underneath out of bounds, where Jamari Blackman just comes right up the lane line, and then he can go one-on-one and just a nice little curl pass to Littles.
Penn on the block. Penn turns and misses.
And how about Blackman in the paint, getting vertical, not picking up the foul for the Lions.
Mervyn James ties the game up with a 3.
That's the one you got to hit if you're the Lions. If you get that drive and kick against this pack line defense and it's that wide open, you've got to make Bellarmine pay, and that's what the Lions did right there.
7th 3 of the contest for North Alabama. And a kick ball. 3 lead changes in the first half. We were tied up twice. Here we are, 3rd time, 35 all.
And that's a kick ball right there. You don't mind if you're North Alabama, because it just disrupts the flow of the offense for Bellarmine.
Fleming off the inbound, takes it all the way.
And Fleming says, you know what, broadcaster, let me show you what rhythm looks like right here. I'll just go right to the rack and get the layup. Fleming's such a crafty player.
Hard screen, Littles picks up his 3rd personal.
You're going to see Littles give it up to Mervyn James. The Lions like to do this with these 2 guys. You just see the subtle hip check right there from Emmanuel Littles, and that's his 3rd foul. He wants to stay in the game, and Coach Pujols telling him, yes, you're staying in. So this is the trust that Coach Pujols and this staff has in this young man.
So the ASUN's top rebounder, the only player in the ASUN averaging 10 rebounds per game, will play with 3. Look at the pass from Bradshaw to Penn, batted around. Bradshaw, 3 ball. And the rebound kept alive by the Knights.
North Alabama's got to do a better job boxing out. That's what Thielen does. He rebounds and screens.
Fleming won't have a chance. Thielen gives it back.
Thielen right there has got to give, once he sets the screen, he did a great job there, but then he's got to release. He can't just keep standing there and holding the defender up, and that's why he gets called for the moving screen there.
So North Alabama, 3 minutes into the second half, again looking to tie the game. Brim travels.
He wanted a push, but he just didn't get his pivot foot set and that little chop of the pivot foot came before the push, and that's why it's a turnover back to the Knights. And if you're North Alabama, you're going to have to clean that up now. That's 10 turnovers in the game, and when you give an offense that's this efficient, extra possessions like that, it's going to be harder to turn the corner.
Another kickball. North Alabama back to the zone. What did the zone do to the Knights in the first half?
Well, what it does is it makes it harder on the cutters. They've got to cut to spots, and it makes it a little easier for you defensively because you're not chasing guys now. Now you just communicate who's cutting where.
Bradshaw, double watch. In the air. 2 more free throws coming up for Pedro Bradshaw.
This Bellarmine team knows how to use the shot fake, and you're going to see it here. Jump stop, pump fake, get Youngblood in the air. If Youngblood stays on his feet and vertical, he might get the benefit of the doubt there because Bradshaw leaned into him. But when you leave your feet, you got no chance. It's going to be a foul every time.
The Knights down 10 of 11 from the free throw line. Bradshaw up to 15 points to go with those 7 rebounds. And a double dribble. Look at Dylan Penn, fired up.
Penn absolutely fired up, did a great job forcing that deflection. I know C.J. Brim didn't think he picked that up, but the officials saw it as a pickup and a double dribble. But that's all credit to Dylan Penn right there, getting in the mix and forcing that turnover. He's done that a couple times now, and the Knights have been able to score off of those.
Up 4, a chance to grab their largest lead. Thielen has to pass out. Here's Bradshaw. Dials it up. Bradshaw from 3.
When you're in rhythm like that, you can knock down that shot. What a great job there by Bradshaw to confidently step into that 3.
He's averaged just over 17 points per game his last 7. He has 19 now. Youngblood stepping through.
Nice little Euro there by Peyton Youngblood, baseline. And the Lions are going to get back into their zone here.
Fleming open. Fleming connects. Back-to-back tray balls.
And if you're going to get back in the zone, you've got to communicate if you're the Lions. You have to know where number 25 for Bellarmine is because Fleming has found his shot here. The young man's on fire.
Down 8, up 8. Now the Knights, winners of their last 8, trying to located in Florence, Alabama. 2 of the newest members of the ASUN Conference. Former Division II programs. First ever meeting between the 2 schools coming at the Division I level. And the Bellarmine Knights are racing an 8-point first half deficit, now leading by 8. Benjamin Ray, Matt Daniels welcoming you back into Flowers Hall as James Anderson pulls up for 3. Matt, the Knights, 3 of 6 from the floor in this second half, up 8, a chance to grab their largest lead as Penn gets in. Matt, how does Bellarmine slowly work their way back in to controlling it now?
Well, they're just so patient offensively. They're getting great shots.
And there's the 10-point advantage. Dylan Penn with the floater.
And right there, that's Penn's game. Get into the paint, work the float game, work the hook shot. Great job by Penn.
Going the other way with it. How many charges have we seen from each side again? It's the Knight of Honor, Justin Betts, drawing the charge.
You're going to see C.J. Brim off the handoff. And Betts take that contact there and get the charge for this team. North Alabama is going to have to understand this is something Bellarmine wants to do. They've obviously scouted you, realized you're out of control in some things. So for North Alabama, you got to get control off those handoffs and drives.
Plus 10 for the road team now. The Knights trying to make it 9 wins in a row. 3-ball from straight away, Alex Freem. And the Knights are feeling it inside of Flowers Hall.
Freem has been all energy from checking in early in this game to now. And right there, that 3, nothing but net.
Mervyn James can't answer. And here come the Knights running. DeVault fouled as he gets it inside. James Anderson picks it up.
Anderson thought he was going to get a deflection right there, but grabs the arm of DeVault. And it'll be Knights basketball underneath their own basket. They've been really good there tonight. Seen Fleming get a layup. Seen Bradshaw get an easy shot off the underneath out of bounds. So you got to be smart here if you're North Alabama.
Penn inside. Claycomb from the corner. Another make.
And that play was all designed. If Penn doesn't have the layup, there was a screen by DeVault to give Claycomb the space he needed to knock down that three after being the inbounder.
And right now, North Alabama searching for an answer. The Knights surging right now as Pedro Bradshaw and C.J. Fleming check in. Watching the Knights in pregame warm-ups, they just looked excited to be here. Fired up, lots of chatter, and they've played like it.
Well, they don't spend a lot of time sitting down on the bench down there either. Their guys are up, they're talking, they're active, they're energetic. You can tell this group loves each other, and they play for one another, and it shows on the floor.
Mervyn James spinning. He'll try to get it at the line.
But if you're North Alabama, this is what you got to do. You got to get some paint touches. You see Mervyn James get his feet in the paint right there, draw the foul on Freem. That's what you got to do if you're North Alabama. You've got to get the ball in the paint, and you've got to get some easy shots to try to make this comeback here.
Mervyn James hits the first. James fourth in the conference in scoring, fifth in rebounding. An all-freshman selection a season ago. Putting together an all-conference caliber sophomore campaign. Along with Pedro Bradshaw, you feel like in the conversation for Player of the Year in the ASUN.
No question, those guys are first-team ASUN type players and potential Player of the Year. See how these teams finish down the stretch. But so far, they've been some real just dynamic players for the league and showing just the skill level across the board in the ASUN.
The extra pass, Will Susi in the passing lane. Will Susi makes it now 11 Lions that have played in this ball game.
This Lions team is deep, and Coach Bull's talked about that all year long, and he's got a bunch of guys he can throw out there. Great job by Susi to get back and help out Emmanuel Littles, who is in a 3-on-1 situation.
And an off-ball foul call. Will Susi called for the foul, running over Justin Betts. The Knights 6 of 9 from the floor in this second half. Freem inside. DeVault launches. Another make. It's the fifth three in this second half.
And just a simple driving kick for the Knights, and that's DeVault's second three of the game.
Youngblood driving in. Fouled by Freem. On the floor, rather. The Knights shoot the fewest amount of three-pointers in the ASUN. But they're still the second-best three-point shooting team.
Well, and if you look at it, they're 7 of 17 right now from the three-point line. That's 41%. They're just so efficient as they get in. Now up to 10 assists are the Bellarmine Knights as Coach Davenport looks on. And that's just what this team does. They just keep sharing the basketball. And when you get an open one like that, for a guy like DeVault, he's going to knock that down more often than he misses.
Mervyn James underneath. Stripped. To the floor, DeVault. Jump ball. And the Knights get it back. Getting it done defensively.
I really like DeVault's game. He's long, he's lanky, but he's got a great shot. He's smart. He knows when to put it on the floor. Defensively, he's good enough to stay on the floor, get some rebounds like that one right there.
The Knights now shooting over 52% from the floor in this game. One of 15 teams in the nation shooting over 50% as Mervyn James has the strong rejection.
Great job by Mervyn James to defend that without fouling and spark this Lions offense. Can they get a shot here?
Youngblood launches and hits.
And Youngblood says, yes, we can. Great shot by him. He's up to 10 points now is Peyton Youngblood. He's played confidently tonight, but for North Alabama, it's going to be all on the defensive end. Can you get enough stops to give yourself a chance?
Susie with an interception. The freshman from New Jersey, coast to coast.
And Susie doesn't hesitate. Get the ball, go right to the rim. 2 easy points, and now it's a 12-point game.
Can that spark North Alabama? The Knights now 7 of 11 in this second half. Bradshaw working on Susie, draws the foul. The Bellarmine Knights, 5 threes. Welcoming you back in. And Matt, right now, Bellarmine shooting over 50% from the floor, really grooving in this second half.
Found the 3-point shot here. Now 5 made threes in the second half, really sharing the basketball, have a high energy, done a great job on the defensive end, forced 13 North Alabama turnovers. That's led to 16 points for the Knights.
On the flip side, North Alabama right now on a bit of a 5-0 run, short little small run, but it started defensively, another turnover.
Yeah, North Alabama's ramped up the pressure defensively. They've made it a little tougher. Hadn't seen as many open looks for Bellarmine as they had in the early going of this half.
Mervyn James, floater, wave it off, a charge. Ethan Claycomb was there waiting.
And you're dead on. You're going to see it. Claycomb's read this all the way. Just standing there, takes the contact. North Alabama's got to respond to that. There's a few charges now where they're just obvious ones. And so if you're North Alabama, you've got to get control and turn that back in a little bit.
We don't keep charges as an official stat, but is that close to 5 now? As Freem gets inside, Penn slashing, adjusting.
Dylan Penn's energy this second half is off the charts. He's been everywhere defensively. Offensively, he's now up to 9 points.
D'Italian Brown, a quick fire. There's Pedro Bradshaw collecting his 8th rebound. Claycomb running. You see the spaced out benches. Will Susie charging him. For the Bellarmine Knights, their first ever visit into Flowers Hall. Doesn't quite look like what you would expect it to look like, but that is the 2021 basketball season.
Yeah, and right there, the space out bench actually is a safer play with Will Susie running full speed out of bounds. Had the bleachers been out and the bench been right on the sideline, you would have had a collision right there. So that's where the benefit of this actually works out on plays like that.
Here's Bradshaw. Bradshaw inside. He turns it over.
Great job by Emmanuel Littles to help in right there. Bradshaw knew what he had. He was trying to spin back. There was nobody there. It would have been an easy 2-point basket for him. But instead, Littles is able to force that turnover right there. If you're the Lions, you're going to have to start taking advantage. 14-point margin is not that big, especially with this much time. But against an efficient offensive team like Bellarmine, you're just not going to have as many opportunities.
Littles fighting inside. He had the mismatch, Alex Freem on him. And that sends Emmanuel Littles to the free throw line. North Alabama, the top volume free throw shooting team. The Lions lead the conference in free throws attempted and made per game. This right here, free throws number 3, as Littles misses.
And you really can't miss the front end of a 1-and-1 because it's really 2 misses.
Bradshaw in traffic.
Bradshaw now up to 20 points to go along with his 8 rebounds. His spark in the first half is why Bellarmine has this opportunity to be where they are.
Little's in trouble. Youngblood from straight away. Peyton Youngblood leads North Alabama with 13.
He's been North Alabama's best offensive player today. Now 3 made threes on the night for Peyton Youngblood.
Bradshaw again, the drive. You can't stop him right now. Give him 22.
Bradshaw is in his bag right now. We've seen the 3. We've seen him put it on the floor like he did right there. Just great work. It was the move he tried to go to last possession, came right back to it.
Littles baseline drive, fouled by Freem. And another one-and-one try.
You're going to see here, Littles does have the strength advantage. I know Freem's frustrated. Can't blame him. They've kind of let that go. His hands were out. But instead, it's a block and another one-on-one opportunity for Littles.
Littles, the A-Sun's top rebounder, has a double-double in 3 of his last 4. Misses another on the front end of the 1-and-1.
When you talk about you're down 15, that's now 4 points you could have had.
Betts works on Brim. Pedro Bradshaw, 22 points, 9 rebounds. Shot clock at 5. Claycomb launches. Rebound to Littles, his 8th.
Good defense by Jonathan Breland to close out on Claycomb.
Susie with a strong take. Bradshaw says no. No reaction afterwards.
No, Bradshaw is as cool as it comes. Just a great job there by him. Just going to send that shot back, meet it at. Subtle little look and just keep on playing. Professional in his approach.
You have to love it. Emmanuel Littles to the bench, the top rebounder in the A-Sun with 8 boards in this game. But it's been the Pedro Bradshaw show.
And the list is starting to get longer for people that can say it is the Pedro Bradshaw show against them, because he's starting to take over the A-Sun.
Brim turns it over. Tony Poolhole collects the ball. He's a little frustrated. And the Knights lead by 15, shooting 53% from the floor, 7 makes from downtown. Trying to make it 9 wins in a row. Bradshaw at game high 22. Thielon inside, another charge. This time it's Isaac Chapman drawing it.
Good job by Chapman to get there and take that contact. You're going to see it spin move there. Get your feet down before you get to that restricted area. Good job by Isaac Chapman, because this is what the Knights have been doing. The dribble handoff, get into the paint. This team is really stubborn when it comes to getting paint touches, are the Knights. They love to just keep getting in there and wearing you down defensively.
And you look, North Alabama has gotten some stops recently, but still down 15. Blackman leaves off to Chapman. Chapman battling. And he'll shoot free throws when we return. The bell. Isaac Chapman, a newcomer for Tony Poolhole. Played his freshman year at Campbell. Was part of a Big South Conference championship there. Took the JUCO route from Cordova, Alabama, a little small town south of here. It's been a key 6-man for Tony Poolhole.
Yeah, Chapman was excited to come here, play close to home so his family can be here, check out his games. He's been just the right fit for this group off the bench, bringing that experience, that championship experience. Smart young man, unselfish in nature, and leads the right way.
So the Knights lead by 13 now, trying to make it 9 A-Sun wins in a row. 4-0 on the road during this streak. And you look at their splits, their numbers get a little better on the road compared to home.
Which doesn't make any sense, but nothing makes sense this year in college basketball. And the Knights just showing that they're just as good on the road as they are at home. And that's the makings of a championship team. When you can go on the road and elevate your play, that just shows how good you are, how much you know, how well you are.
Inbounding underneath. As you've pointed out, the Knights have had success here.
They're so good. They just have so many plays underneath out of bounds. Just watching them getting ready for them, I couldn't even get a feel for how many plays they have.
Fleming, double. And with the way the ball's fallen for the Knights, you're surprised that didn't fall. Susie running. The ball movement from North Alabama. Breland steps in, swishes it in, and watch out, it's down to 11 now.
And the transition game for North Alabama sparked it, but it was the defensive end getting the stop and the rebound. The ball movement, as you said, lines now up to 11 assists.
Fleming stripped. Brim. Breland turns it over. Not on the same page with C.J. Brim.
And that's one, again, you saw Breland go in. Could have been a charge. Betts was there to take it. What Breland's got to do is come to a jump stop right there. You know the Knights are coming up to take a charge. Come to a jump stop. That way you can see if your guy's there before you make that pass. If not, the lines were trailing. You were in transition. You know you've got your buddies coming to make the smarter play.
Penn one-on-one on Blackman. Into the body. The ball still loose. Here's Blackman with it. Susie loses it. Players to the floor. Here's Bradshaw.
A little bit of chaos right there on both ends of the floor. Just bodies everywhere, the ball bouncing around. But Bellarmine, as steady as they come as a group, even with their high energy, they never get too high, too low on themselves. And it showed on those couple of possessions right there.
Fleming on Blackman. Fleming dancing around with contact. C.J. Fleming to the line. C.J. Fleming's hit 2 threes.
And that moves subtle pump fake. Yeah, the subtle pump fake. Sorry to cut you off there. That's what he likes to do when he gets in the paint. Just move around. He's really looking to kick it out, but right there used the pump fake and was able to get to the free throw line.
So Fleming's 2 threes now ties him for 6 on the school's all-time list. Scott Davenport looking on. Fleming's older brother played at Christian Brothers University in Memphis, Tennessee, an old conference rival of North Alabama.
And his brother was really good in this building, too. Many times came in here, played well, came in with some good teams in that Christian Brothers stretch. It was always a tough team to play against. They ran the Princeton offense, as traditional as it comes. You know, that's one of the things when you're preparing for this Bellarmine offense, North Alabama, finding out 2 days ago, that's a lot to prepare for in 2 days. And right now, that offense is starting to show all of its wrinkles.
D'Italian Brown from the corner. Youngblood offensive board. Brown, a second try. Hits it again. His third make.
How about the freshman with the confidence off the miss to come back into a step-back three, an even harder one than the first one, and knock it down nothing but net, making this a 10-point game.
North Alabama's worked hard to get to 10. Now you're just a few stops away from making it interesting as we approach 5 minutes left. Freem to the block. Freem, wave it off. He traveled.
Freem likes, you saw it here. He's going to, as he drives, he's going to pick up his dribble. Little shuffle right there. Great piece of officiating. He was trying to lean into the body of Mervyn James and pick up the foul on James, but instead it's a turnover. And for the Lions, now the question is, can you take advantage?
For North Alabama, the Lions are shooting 50% from the floor in this second half, but you're down 10.
Yeah, just haven't been able to get enough stops on the defensive end to give yourself a chance for the offense to catch up.
C.J. Brim in and out. And a loose ball foul against Freem.
Freem did everything right until when Littles went in the air, you've got to let go. You can't stay engaged. And that's what's going to happen here. Excuse me, that was Mervyn James. You see Freem just stay engaged right there. So it's a loose ball foul, but it was put in for player safety, really.
So Mervyn James to the line. 8 points, 3 rebounds.
And that's 5 on Freem. Kind of snuck in right there. I didn't realize that was 5 on that young man. He was a really active player for the Knights off the bench today.
So he's out with 5. Thielon has 3. Claycomb 3. Mervyn James and Emmanuel Littles 3 for North Alabama. In UNA, 8-point contest, 4:33 to play. Let's make it interesting.
And North Alabama's gone to this press so that the Knights can't just come run right down and get into their offense. That's really what North Alabama, if they can get a turnover out of it, great. But they just really want to slow down this offensive attack a little bit and not make it so easy in the half court for Bellarmine.
Claycomb with 9. Bradshaw steps back. Pedro Bradshaw in and out.
I don't know how that didn't go down for Bradshaw. That was a great look for him. He's been so good today with his 22 points. Just couldn't get the friendly bounce on the road.
Down 8 now. Little's inside. Little's a jump hook. Misses.
Little's had to go fast because the double team was coming, but probably just a little too fast, rushed it, too much juice on it. And here are the Knights with a chance to make this double digits again.
Bradshaw 1 rebound away from a double-double. Bradshaw spinning. All the way misses, but he's fouled. And if that's Mervyn James, that will be his 4th, but this game.
Yeah, Bradshaw got out early in transition, and then he's just been relentless getting into the paint. Those other 6 shots outside of his 3, all coming inside that paint area or right around it. Just doing a great job going to work, and especially they're going to him late in the shot clock. Once they break down that North Alabama defense, giving it to Bradshaw and letting him go to work.
Now 9 of 9 from the line. You have to think Pedro Bradshaw this last 7-8 ball games. He's worked himself as to one of the front runners for ASUN Player of the Year.
There's no question about it. And he started already a campaign to be back-to-back Player of the Weeks right now with his effort tonight.
Back out to 10. Blackman fouled on the drive in. Trying to dump off to Littles. Jamari Blackman, ASUN Freshman of the Year, year 1. Now a junior, became North Alabama's 27th member of the 1,000-point club. The first to do it at the Division I level.
And Jamari Blackman's just a cool customer, just steady about his work, professional in his approach. He takes care of his body, his mind, does a great job working for this team. Had a tough weekend. Last weekend against FGCU, you're not going to see that too much for Jamari Blackman. He's a just all-out competitor, loves his team, loves the game. And I know the Lions are happy to see him put the ball through the basket.
Again, down to 8. The Knights trying to make it 9 wins in a row. Liberty picked up a win earlier, so if Bellarmine can hang on to win, they would remain in first place. And a turnover. 2:50 to play. Blackman from the logo. Jamari Blackman makes it a 5-point ball game. 2 North Alabama back in it. It's a 5-point ball game. The Bellarmine Knights have led by double figures for most of this second half. Benjamin Ray and Matt Daniels welcoming you back in for an exciting finish. Matt, can the Knights close out North Alabama? Can UNA find a few stops?
So far it's been here the last couple minutes. North Alabama's gotten stops. They forced turnovers. Bellarmine has 8 turnovers here in the half. When they take care of the basketball, though, they're 50% from the field.
Shot clock already at 5. Fleming, he wants the ball in these moments. Hops back. And here we go, a loose ball foul. Blackman, I believe, fouls Penn.
North Alabama, when they go back and watch the film tonight, they're going to be frustrated on plays like this, right? When you do everything right, and then you pick up a foul on the rebound. I know Coach Poole is extremely frustrated, but that's one you don't have to pick up if you're Jamari Blackman.
How much of that, Matt, is when you see the hands and arms extended?
That's what it is. The officials saw the extension, see the body on the floor. You put 2 and 2 together, and it equals 4, right? And so that's how it just panned out right there.
Penn misses both. Here we go, final 2 minutes. UNA down 2 possessions. Blackman scored the last 5.
If you're North Alabama, don't rush. Don't settle for a good shot. Get a great one.
Little's inside. Little's all the way. It's a 3-point game. 1:42 remaining.
And the Lions get the great shot that they were challenged to get. You had the mismatch with Littles on Fleming. Fleming had worked so hard that whole possession, but Littles wins the war.
90 seconds to go. The clock, the friend of the Knights. Can North Alabama find another stop? You hear some defense chants coming to life.
Yeah, this crowd's starting to realize what's going on here.
Penn on Blackman. Claycomb. Short. Look at the hustle from Betts. The Knight of Honor with a big rebound.
Betts has taken charges. He's moved the ball around. He's cut hard. He's done all the little things for his team, and for him to get the offensive rebound there.
Bradshaw pulls up. Look at Mervyn James soaring high for the board. North Alabama down 3.
And again, if you're North Alabama, you have plenty of time here.
Youngblood for the tie. And Penn chases it down. 35 seconds. Do you think about fouling at any point?
Probably most people would, but Coach Pujol wants to hang their hat on the defensive end, so they're going to play this out, and they're going to defend.
Fleming loves the ball in tight situations. In trouble. Fleming. That would have been a big jump ball. Quick timeout by Coach.
If you're North Alabama.
The Knights trying to make it 9 wins in a row. North Alabama looking to rally. Claycomb with 9. Brown denying Fleming. Here's Penn with 5. Penn spinning. Penn misses. Ball tipped out. Possession North Alabama. Here we go. 5 seconds remaining. First.
That's why both of these coaches talk about having players first programs, because these are the guys on the floor.
So the Knights will inbound. And a smart timeout by Dylan Penn. North Alabama denying.
Yeah, it's going to be another fun one tomorrow. North Alabama's learned the lesson down the stretch here. And same thing with Bellarmine. These two teams are going to come ready.
Little's on the ball. Betts turns it over. Here we go. North Alabama down 3. And the quick foul call with 1.4 seconds left.
And for Claycomb, that's the smart play. But if he's half a second later, it could be dangerous. Usually when you foul up 3, it's because you got more time than that. But this team, clearly that's a coach's thing. This program knows when we're up 3 late, we're going to foul. And Claycomb wraps him up and sends Brown to the free throw line.
So D'Italian Brown, the freshman, he's had some big threes. Do you think about an intentional miss right here? Tony Pujol calls the timeout. In Mervyn James, Little's first in the conference in rebounding. James 5th. Brown misses. Ball loose. Littles comes up with it. A jump ball. So North Alabama will get possession. And let's go and see how much time's on the clock.
It's going to have to be, they're going to have